I'm getting ready to shoot two very important videos. One is Edgar Cayce and that spiritual transformation that is happening now. I'm going to explain what it is, the outside influences that are causing that. And that is my next video, in addition to your physical symptoms and what's called the 39 hertz. I'm going to talk about that today. But we have to start with number one video before we hit those. And that is every single person, every human being on this planet will go into the exploration of darkness before we hit the light completely. I'm going to explain why. It's not just those out there misbehaving. It's every single person. I'll explain what the symptoms are, what you may be experiencing, because we're past the tipping point. 2026 is a huge kickoff. All right, you ready for this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube. Here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. You know, any American cowboys or Aussies out there maybe can instruct me on how to do this better, because I haven't worn these in a while. This is for my subscriber who said, what happened to your cowboy hats? Yes, they made it to this new location. I'm going to talk today about the darkness. It's necessary. It is part of the evolution of you. It doesn't have to be painful, but you might be going through it now and thinking, I'm a spiritual person. Why am I experiencing this? Or why are these things happening? It's an in-your-face requirement. I've actually been experiencing it myself. I don't like it. Yeah, no matter how spiritual you are, it's required. And I'm going to explain how you can get through this easily. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some instructions on the 39 hertz, what it is, how you tune into it, and you actually train yourself to go into it. That's the higher frequency that rises above anything you're going through right now. You're capable of anything. So you ready? The dark night of the soul is not necessary for this. It's just the exploration of darkness. We're going to have a heart-to-heart talk today because I had a download. And as I prepared for these other videos that you're going to love, we're actually experiencing the Edgar Cayce prediction. I'm going to prove it to you in the next video. I'm also going to talk to you about the different phases that we are going through right now in every area of our lives. I'm going to hit financial, health, relationships. I'm going to hit all of those areas and what you can expect from the collective. But this video is required first. What is that? The individual. The seeming individual. We're connected to everything, but we're still not really recognizing that the way we need to in order to progress to the next level. What does that mean? We're still thinking of ourselves as individuals. We're in survival mode. We're separating ourselves and judging. That's still going on, isn't it? Yeah, I still have those traits too. I have to really be on it. I find myself making a comment in my head thinking, he without sin cast the first stone. Well, it's not going to be me. Let's talk about what that dark side is. It is everyone, but most spiritual people think it excludes them because they're good people. They have good intentions, and they feel like they've progressed to awakening and enlightenment. It will hit you too. This is a good thing. So don't be afraid of this. What I'm going to tell you is absolutely positive, and it'll make sense for you if you're experiencing some of these symptoms, and some of you, some really bad symptoms. What is the exploration of darkness to allow you to go into the light? In order for us to go into a truly awakened, Hopi lifestyle, right? We talked about the Hopi in some of those last videos. It requires purity, unity, and one consciousness. Any of the traits that you might have right now are not included in that world. They can't be. Any judgment, separation, right and wrong cannot be allowed in the new world. Why? It just doesn't resonate. You're on the wrong floor. So you can scream all you want, but nobody's going to hear you up in the higher floors. They're going to be waiting for you to join them. And then you'll figure out, oh, I have to step up to literally the plate and behave in that frequency. And that means I have to lose the judgment, including about yourself. I have to lose the separation, or say certain people are bad, or certain political parties are bad, or certain government people are bad, because I'm going to tell you something. There is no one right or wrong, and that government is loaded with beings that you don't even know about. Light beings, They're peppered in every area of our lives, and we're going to go through that. Now, when I discuss this next video, I'm going to talk about what the collective is going to go into, and it's very exciting. But we can't do that if you're still using plastic, drinking out of plastic water bottles, and thinking some Red Star Regulus is going to show up and solve the problem. Here's the darkness each of us must face without fear, without fear. The darkness isn't a bad thing. It's just an experience. When you face it, it has no power over you. So those of you who wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with anxiety, this is going to help you. Those of you who are going through transitions in your life with career, money, health, anything, saying, how did I end up here? You're really questioning yourself and looking back at every step you've made and thinking, this is a pattern of mine. What's going to happen now is you're going to realize all the things you've been doing that got you to where you are now, and all of the things that you may have thought were okay because that's where you were at the time. You're not to be blamed. No one is. No one can truly make a mistake. There's no such thing as failure. There's only evolution and learning. When you look back and think, I could have treated that person nicer, or here's some other things I could have done that were better. And maybe there's a pattern of mine that I'm not liking right now. Maybe there's some things I need to change in my life, because if I don't, nothing else will change for me, and I will remain in a lower frequency, stressed out and in anxiety. If that's where you are now, it can't change. You have to release every program, every negative thought, every idea that that other person is wrong, every act of separation, everything in the material world that you believe is going to save you, because when you leave here, you can't take it with you. What is this actual phase we must go through? It is prevalent through everything. It's a cleansing and a purge. Now, Edgar Cayce spoke of this. Okay, Dolores Cannon spoke of this. But we think, oh, we're good people, and the earth is going to split, and we're going to wake up in La La Land. But I guarantee you, there are very few people that qualify for that. Christ was one of them. Buddha was one of them. And by the way, it took them years to go through this process to get to the point where Christ could actually forgive the people who killed him. And there's some other stories about that too. Maybe those stories aren't quite what we think. We're going to learn more about that. What is the purging? We can't just step into light and high frequency. The whole purpose of the darkness and the negativity, the separation, is to learn from it, to learn the extreme expression of the one so it can know itself in its highest form. You can't know what chocolate is if you've never tasted it. Somebody could explain it to you all day long. That's all this is. Some of it's, yes, very painful, but I guarantee you this is a flash in the pan. This is just a second, nanosecond in eternity. This will be over very soon. And don't you take yourself out before then, because you don't get out of this. Do your best because you can. And I'm going to show you the many ways that you can go into this new state of being. Now we're going to get more scientific and conscious-minded about these discussions. Before it was just, oh, I'm going to go in this state of enlightenment and everything's okay. This darkness is, why haven't we done that yet? Why haven't we just popped into this abundance and health and all these things? And some of you have gone to that level, but are still experiencing some real negativity. There are things that need to be cleaned up. So here's what I'm going to share with you today. This is something that must happen to everything and everyone on every level. If you do not recognize the teachings along the way, if you do not use them and have a little heart-to-heart with yourself that there are things that you must and should change, some maybe things that you could do, some corrections, some letting go of beliefs that you've been programmed that go against other people that you've clung to, because everyone is right. We must face all of these things first and recognize the teachings. And when you do that and you release it, you now go to the next level. And that's when you go into the new world. And there'll still be challenges. The teachings don't stop. You keep getting challenged on higher and higher levels. That's planet Earth. Have total acceptance in that. So let's take a look at ourselves. And I took a look at some patterns that I had, and I thought, is there anything here? And is there a pattern there? And I had to take a real good hard look, and of course there is. Of course there is. Where did that come from? Do I have traits maybe from parents or any kind of situation or, religion that told you that this is how things are and you've picked up that behavior? You've disapproved of people who don't act or dress or behave like you do. Disapproval is judgment. That's separation, and it's against diversity and creation and expression. Can you release it? It must be done. We're going to purge everything that doesn't work, that has been functioning at a lower level, and therefore you will see, and we'll talk more about this, the levels of the basement that are going to really get nailed big time. You're thinking, yay. Well, we all will be, okay? So we're in that boat too. We're just maybe not making those low-level choices. They cannot hang on to the material world, and there will be a cleansing. Big time, by the way. Big time. Don't worry about that and don't celebrate that. I will not wish bad or evil or pain on anyone. My wish is that my prayers will enlighten others to make better decisions for themselves and the collective consciousness. Let's just say higher decisions. Better. What's better? It's whatever you need to learn your lessons and play out your mission. So there is no real better. There's just higher frequencies. You cannot go into it unless you clear out the clutter. You can't put new clothes in your closet if it's stacked with dirt and fur balls and old clothes. You have to pull it out, clean it out, and then put the new beautiful robes and jewels in there. That's where you are right now. It's time to take a deep dive into absolute everything that you don't like about your life and how you're feeling, and ask yourself where it's coming from, because even those negative stories, that's a lower frequency that's keeping you in this loop of thinking something's wrong, I don't like this, that shouldn't be, and that if that changed, everything would be okay. That's where dissatisfaction comes in. And when you have acceptance, and it doesn't mean it's going to feel good all the time, because we're one collective, so when other people suffer, we feel it too. But we go into it with compassion, not anger or disgust. So we're going to do a little exercise here. So if we go into this frequency, what is it actually? What is that frequency? Is it something we have to listen to? You've heard this. Actually, it's something you can train yourself to do. And when you do it, you'll start to think differently. You'll start to see things differently. You're going to program yourself, and you're not going to want to associate with that dark thoughts or behaviors or patterns that you have. And it's going to feel real bad because you're going to see them. It's going to be in your face, and you're going to go, oh my God, I thought I was doing all these great things. I was actually hurting people. I was judging people. I was being selfish. I was in survival mode. Why? Because I was in lack. And then you look at it, it's going to become so real for you of what it is. So let's talk about phase one. If you want to reach the state of enlightenment, which we define as the permanent stabilization of this frequency, okay? You need to do some of these things. There's no one way, but this is how you can reach that enlightenment state. So everything's a frequency. So when you can raise your frequency, you do it through thoughts, changing your patterns, prayer, meditation, and this hertz will help you to tune into that radio station. So if you keep listening to rock and roll and you can hear classical music and you start to turn it up a little bit, pretty soon you're turning down this one, nothing wrong with rock and roll, and you're tuning into that which you want. So that's what we're going to do today, because then you will live in classical music or whatever you want. Let's talk about the external priming, listening. You can use 39 hertz audio for 15 to 20 minutes to loosen the grip of the 15 hertz beta loop. That's where we are when we're in darkness. This lowers the resistance of your nervous system. So there's a physical presence here that we're not going to get past, and it influences everything. Your ego never goes away, right? Until you leave this density. It's an energy field that has been programmed. There's residuals of everything. So we want to break that up. And when you use this on your brain, if you know Joe Dispenza, I've been to some of his advanced classes. We put on headphones and we monitored our brains. It was pretty interesting. Phase two, you're going to do internal activation. That's creating. While the audio is playing, perform heart-brain coherence. That's breathing 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. This shifts the power source from the headphones to your own heart. So when you're really focused on that, you're really focused on your heart, that breathing, that pattern, and then you listen to this as you're doing your heart-brain coherence. Phase 3, the handoff. Turn off the audio and try to maintain the buzz or the clarity using only your breath and focus. So it may take a while to get conditioned to this, to stop the chatter. And this 39 hertz helps to do this. This is how you save the progress to your biological hard drive. All right? So this is a practice that'll help you elevate to that frequency. Now, it doesn't let you go, but you don't get off the hook from exploring your own darkness and coming face to face with what needs to change, because we all have it. We all have the things we thought were good, and we realize later on when we go into total love and clarity and compassion that they weren't so great after all. And you recognize it. And of course, one of the best things you can do is forgive yourself. You're not alone. I audition people all day for a television network for episodes, and they all have stories that are horrendous, some worse than others, but they all went to a dark point or grew up in a dark side. You're not alone. Every single person deals with that, no matter how it looks on the outside. Well, they have looks and brains and money. Some of those people struggle the most because they've relied on that material world and have not gone inside to explore this spirituality, because that was making their lives easy, and they go into deep, deep depressions. All right? We don't wish that on anyone. Yes, sometimes their lives are a little bit easier in the material world. Sometimes it works completely against you. So there's nobody who has an advantage over you that has it easier. Everyone has their chosen challenges. So we want to condition ourselves. And so your assignment is, before we, on the next video, go into the collective transition that's happening out big time. It's happening. I'm going to tell you exactly how it's happening in every area of our lives and what you can expect. And it is exactly what Cayce predicted. It's not just about us and our behavior. It's about nature, those catastrophes that he predicted, the solar flares, and how it's all connected. And if you go into this state of mind that I talk about today, you will start to connect to absolutely everything, not just the plants out there, but to the lamp and the table. And you'll realize everything's an energy field. And you're going to start to feel energy coming off of things. Why? Because your veils are coming down, and the more they come down, the less resistance you have, the fewer limitations, the fewer opinions you have, and the more you realize, wait a minute, everything's true. All things are possible. There are no limits. I don't have to understand it. I just know it. And I know at the top of the creation of all things, and there's not even a top, that's endless, is pure light and love. And that is our assignment. And we're going into the golden era, I promise you. And all these things we've talked about with Chris Bledsoe, Edgar Cayce, the lady, the predictions, and everybody else who gets their nose into that, trying to put dates into place. None of that's going to matter, because we're going to realize it's coming true because we're making it come true. One thing I'm going to remind you of that is so important, Chris Bledsoe said this, Edgar Cayce said this, the power of prayer is beyond what you can imagine. And it's like anything. Every little act of goodness or kindness, higher frequency, I should say, counts. I saw a plastic bag and I didn't have one on me on my walk. I picked it up and I started putting just a few pieces of garbage in there, and I realized those little acts are massive, because if me and millions of other people are doing those little acts, things clean up. Little acts count. Positive thoughts count. One prayer counts. And if every single one of you do, pretty soon 1 million people that listen to this video, I have 19 million, I guess, something like that. If every one of them just said one prayer, we just changed the world. But your one counts equally. And if you do it, you shine a light, and it affects other people who think, I think I'm going to say a prayer today. You're affecting them, their thoughts. Why? They're connected. Our thoughts are, our intentions are. Somebody else is going to pick up and feel really good and positive that day because you went into that space. We must do it. And if you don't, you will remain in a space of struggle and watching dates and expecting some white lady showing up at the Sphinx to solve your problems and change you, you have to go into the darkness, take a good look at it, and you'll realize it's not scary at all. And there's nothing to fear. And all of a sudden, that fear drops, it dissolves, and you realize it's just me. I'm going to experience being human. I'm going to be okay with being uncomfortable. I'm going to celebrate every day when it's beautiful, and I'm not going to miss that sun or walking in the grass or that beautiful cup of coffee or tea. You are amazing. If you would like to make higher choices, go into my description. I'm going to give you links to all kinds of great stuff, including stop using plastic, stop drinking water from plastic, filter your water. You have a discount down there. It's actually a lot cheaper to filter water. My water filter lasted almost 2 years, and this water tastes amazing. It's purified. Don't skimp on your health. It is time. We've polluted ourselves. Remember when you used to drink from the sink? I know we did. We had a well at my house, and the water sort of was stinky, but it was super healthy. There's nothing wrong with you. There never has been. It's all the game. Look at it. You can become any player in the play. Some of you have a mission to be the bad guy in the play, right? There are people out there doing that right now that we know, right? Making those decisions. Why? Because it allows the hero to be the hero and somebody to get saved because that's the role they chose. Don't judge it. Don't judge anything. I hope you'll subscribe, click that bell for reminders, give me a thumbs up, and I don't want you to miss this next video. The next two are going to be really powerful. It's going to talk about your body, what's happening right now, what's happening out there, what you can expect from the transition, what we're actually seeing right now. You're going to love it. And I'm going to apply everything we've been talking about, the Hopi, Edgar Cayce, Dolores Cannon, all of them. Even Baba Vanga made statements, and it's happening right now. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. That's from the Master Key System. It healed somebody. We're going to talk about that too. All of this exists right here for you. Reach into your tattered pockets. They're filled with jewels, my friend. I promise you that. See you in the next video. Namaste. Yeehaw!